The City of San Antonio is now dedicating funding to support our foster care youth. Last month, City Council approved nearly $1 million to fund a 2-year pilot program called Project Launch. Joining me now to talk about that are Jennifer Regnier, the CEO of Jewish Family Services, and Angie White, the CEO of Child Advocates of San Antonio. Good morning, ladies. Thank you for being here.
Good morning.
Well, Angie, let's start with you. Talk about the situation for foster kids in our community here, and what do they need to better support them?
Well, this project is really aimed at 14-year-olds and more, so children that are going to age out of the system. One of the pieces that we don't do with equity for these children is give them a consistent therapist. If you go to therapy, if I go to therapy, we have a consistent therapist. We're not continually reliving our trauma. We're creating a healing space for that. We don't do that well for foster children. Yeah. And they're moving 4 to 16 times a year, and every time they may move therapists. And we need to do something about that. So we came up with an innovative solution together with the Through Project as well to help us try and address this issue. And thank heavens for the City of San Antonio that really bought into the funding for this and saw the need for these particular children and youth, yes.
And Jennifer, that stability is so important for these kids who have so much uncertainty in their life right now. Talk about how Project Launch will support this group of young people and help them plan for their future.
Sure, it's about continuity, and Angie spoke a little bit about the fact that these foster youth and young adults are moving and having different advocates and people coming in and out of their lives, and that is also the same for therapists, and they're reliving their trauma. So the key factor in this program that's different is that they will be assigned one therapist, the continuity of care, that will stay with them, and this therapist will actually stay with them at CASA and then travel to Through Project. Right. We will be meeting them where they're at, meaning that if they would prefer to have services telehealth, we will make that an option.
Wow, that's so wonderful.
Yeah, 2 locations at JFS, or our therapists are going to travel to CASA or Through Project to ensure they get that stability.
And Angie, talk about, the city is dedicating $950,000. Right. That is amazing. Talk about the support from the city and really what it means to the work that you guys are doing.
Well, councilmen and women have been amazing. I mean, Councilwoman Melissa Cabaya Havadar really pinpointed this, but the rest of the council got behind it. So just our thanks to them. It's incredible that they see this. And the innovation of it, I think, is really interesting. So we're just delighted. I was a foster child. I've been in the system a long time ago, obviously. But, that I know what this means to the kids. I mean, I've had therapy throughout my life for what was not addressed when I was a teenager. And so if we do this now, I mean, we save the city money. We have people that are not going to fall into the addiction route, the homeless route, the cost of taxpayers. So if we do early intervention now, we grow healthy, just great adults. That it's not just the therapy. If they have therapy now, then they'll stay in placements longer. They won't change schools as often, and we get more educated adults who can then start to break generations of poverty even.
Wow, that's
so
amazing
it's a
to
whole
think about,
vision.
Yeah, that future. And a lot of people don't know, I'm a former school counselor, that we have that support in the schools, but it's not long term. Right. And so while we can provide short-term support, this is so much needed. And Jennifer, I want to ask you, there's over 4,200 children in the foster system here in Bexar County, and I know you said this project is all about equity. Can you talk about that?
I really bring it back to the fact that children that are not in foster care, they oftentimes will be able to see one single therapist. And really what it's at the core of Project Launch is providing that one single therapist. We're not reliving that trauma. We're able to create a customized and personalized plan with the child and the young adult and be able to work on that with the same therapist. And they're actually making progress then. And so it really is about the stability. And that's something that children that are not in foster care have. And we want to ensure that equity and that they have the same outcomes that the children not in foster care.
And they're getting those same opportunities.
Yes,
I love that. Well, before we go, Angie, talk about how, if there's anyone watching at home, how can we help? How can we support what you're doing? And how can we learn more about it?
I think the key difference between this project and what other people have done before and have tried to do is that we have advocates. The kids have a trusted adult with them, whether that's at CASA or at Through, and they're going to take these children and say, you need to meet this wonderful therapist. Our advocates are going to know who the therapists are. Through will know who the therapists are. You're going to come meet them. So the biggest thing people can do is come advocate, come be a CASA, go to Through Project to be a mentor, support JFS, CASA and Through financially, always open to that.
Yes.
So we can start to build this program and keep going with it. And just, I think generally, you know, if you need somebody to talk to, if you need therapeutic services, go get them.
Yeah.
You know, look after that for your child and go and get them for you if you need them. Makes a whole world of difference.
Yeah, and there's never any shame in that.
Never
And
at
I just
all.
love how this is a community effort that will benefit our entire community. Thank you, ladies, so much for being here this morning. And we'll also have more information on our website at kens5.com. All right.